Well, thank you all for coming out. This is the How to YouTube panel. Joining us up on stage, Saberspark.
Hey guys.
Paleosteno.
Hello.
And JHaller.
Hello there.
And we are the panel that is up against the episode viewing today. So, woo! Thank you guys for coming out.
It also happened at Winnie City when we did this panel for the first time.
It did, and it actually made for a really kind of a personable panel. It was fun, but I think they just like to challenge us. So thank you guys for coming out. Definitely plan to have fun for the next hour. And yeah, I know. I forget which one of us even set up this panel.
I did.
Okay, Pele, I'll let you take the floor then.
Yeah, so I had an idea for like doing a panel like this because we had just been doing like podcast panels and pretty much just talking about anything. But then I was like, you know what? Since we all do like YouTube stuff, we might as well like do like some kind of like I guess instruction, not exactly instruction, but I guess advisory on how to make like YouTube videos and like how to create a successful channel and all that. So I figured it'd be a fun thing to do at one of these conventions since YouTube's like a big part of the fandom.
And what's kind of fun is the four of us up here kind of all have a different thing going on with each of our channels, really. So there's a bit of variety up here. I know Jay has more of a hand in Applejack stuff.
Only Applejack stuff. It's entirely Applejack.
Yeah. And Jay, what do you do with your channel?
So the majority of my channel, I started out doing PMVs because I didn't know how to do any editing at all. I just learned it from scratch, just basically trying and failing until perfecting it. And then from there, I moved on to more short, kind of, if you're familiar with something called the anthology series. It's more like short skits using existing audio, just and using show clips or animations, what have you. And I found I like that a lot more, so that's kind of what I was more focused on, is these short skits and such. Along the way, I also picked up a series from another guy who gave it to me. He was, it's a top 10 series that I now run and I think Saber actually ran it for a period of time.
We did.
Yep.
Glad they took it away from him.
But yeah, so I've been doing that for a couple of years now. And just it's a top 10 that showcases the best works, or people vote on what they think is the best works in the fandom, and they then it's displayed out every month. I have not put it out this month yet because of this convention, and I've had people yelling at me about getting it out there. But
where is it, Jay?
It's not ready yet. No, not yet, please. But yeah, no, it's just a variety of things. I mean, I've worked a few collaborations. I worked with a group called Brownies React.
You guys just had a panel.
Yeah, we just, it went well. I think people liked it. And then just doing work with a PMV group called The Collaboratory. They make really high quality PMV stuff, and just all over the place. Aside from doing like our own, real life skits and comedy sketches with my own friends and stuff on our show. That's pretty much the full rundown.
Cool.
So what I do is I do like reviews of stuff. I started out doing like reviews of like Pony episodes, and then I started doing like longer videos. And now I just do like movie reviews and stuff about cartoons and stuff. And I also do the podcast with Saber and Race. So that's what I do now.
I made a project back in like 2012 or after
2011.
One of those, and it was just kind of a video talking about bronies, and it was for a sociology class, and I uploaded that to YouTube. It's called Battle of the Brony. I guess folks liked it, and that's where I got my start. I did top 10 for a while, like Jay did, or he still does. It's weird to think that series is almost like you wear the mantle and you pass it along or something.
I'll only give it off when it's ready for the chosen one of YouTube.
Yeah. And so after doing some funny stuff, I could never really ever figure out what my channel was. Like sometimes it'd be like analytical videos, and then sometimes it'd be like comedy videos. But as of late, I've been doing more just videos talking about, I guess, YouTube meta stuff, entertainment. I've been going in that direction, so that's where I'm currently at. Race, how about you?
I'm an artist. I'm drawing. No, I kind of have a really weird mixture of videos on mine that ranges from PMVs that I enjoy putting together at the end of each season to the Bronies React series, which is beyond taken off, and super humbled by that. And then I also have series like the low budgets, where I take cars and crash them up and smash them up, and just love recording it. And yeah, and just a bunch of stuff in between, including convention vlogs, in case you guys have seen us walking around at the convention with a camera in hand. You know, don't be afraid to wave at the camera or smack it out of my hands or something. But yeah, I mean, I've always kind of had a free-spirited channel. I just make whatever I feel like making at the time. So yeah, I started making a couple Zootopia videos as well. Big surprise there with a music video that Gabe and I collaborated on. So that was fun. And yeah, I guess that's kind of a roundup of all of our channels up here and whatnot. I see Jay's drawing too. What are you drawing, Jay? He's drawing Saberspark. So yeah, I guess like we'll probably kind of go through some YouTube stuff and whatnot, but if you guys have any questions at any point, you know, feel free to ask anything you guys are wondering. Yes?
Could you go down the line and tell me your sound editing, your favorite, best, what you think sound editing, please?
Sound?
Yes, for your sound editing, what's your favorite program or thing to do, or?
I use Audacity.
Yeah,
Audacity
same thing
is,
for me.
yeah, it's a very good program that's free, and it's what you get for free is amazing.
Yeah, it's very versatile.
Yeah, it's like a lot of professional YouTubers use it. He's the biggest editor up here, JHaller.
So like, none of us are sound engineers, obviously. As I said, Audacity is really the biggest bang for your buck, which is free. But it does a lot of what the most simple stuff that you need, like noise canceling, you know, editing out like you have this, you know, when you're filming stuff, or good cutting stuff, you'll be able to cut stuff. It's just pretty much all in one, the best free tool I think that's out there. If you want to like do stuff like FL Studio, that's a little more involved for specifically music making and remixing and stuff. But I don't really think we do a lot of. But yeah, sound editing Audacity is pretty much the best way to go.
What's the smallest division of a frame or a second that you can get down to?
0.1 frames. It depends how many frames you do per second. So if you do like, if you're doing a tip, let's say you're doing like the show. The show runs at 24 frames a second essentially. So you can get 1/124th of a second if you're doing the show. You know, it depends on the frame rate you choose.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 1/24th of a second. You can scroll through and edit and do changes, and that's really nice to do, especially if you have to do it. It's a little bit of sleight of hand kind of thing. A little, especially when you're editing, like you're making changes in Mac and doing that kind of thing. Doing things that you know are there, but it's so seamless that the audience doesn't even know it's there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I have some trouble with sound editing, so that's good advice. I really appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
I do a lot of mine in, I edit with Sony Vegas, and I do a lot of my sound editing in there, especially with like the reacts, because I'm getting footage from up to 10 or more people, and everyone's levels are different, and so I have to mess around with that. So a lot of my editing happens from the camera source, or sometimes people splice together audio and you know, send me that file, but I still have to master it to make it, because my older reacts, I wasn't as used to messing around with audio, and so some of the levels, we'd go from, you know, some guy who's like, yeah, so, and then we'd have Solrak who's like, yeah! People weren't too excited about that, so, yeah. Roko, you had a hand up.
Origins of your names. The origins.
Names.
JHaller, well, you already know my last name. My name is Jeff Haller. That was it.
Where did the two come from?
When I was in college, I was assigned my college email was JHaller2, and then I went on my YouTube channel. I made it the same, but JHaller regular was also available. I just didn't think about it because I didn't at the time think I was going to be making any content. So it really didn't matter.
Paleosteno, paleo comes from paleontology, which I was like really into as a kid. And then Steno comes from my favorite species of dolphin, Stenobretonensis, which is a rough-toed dolphin.
Nerd. My name, yeah, and here comes my story now. I played Warcraft. I had a name called Saber Steve, which is from Scuba Steve, because that was taken. So I made Saber Steve. I made a YouTube account. Saber Steve was taken. Like, what kind of jerk would take that name? It's a bad name. Why would they use it? And then I thought, well, Saber, I need a inspiration, a spark of inspiration. Saberspark, it's not taken. Cool, I'll use that.
Nerd. For me, way back when I first started using the internet, there was a good old function called AOL Instant Messenger. And I'm like, oh, I gotta come up with like a really good name here. Well, I like race cars, so Race, yeah. And my last name is Best, so Best. Okay,
It's not because you're the best.
no, it is. And
Your family must have been very
What does
pompous
the
to have
AC
the last
stand
name
for?
Best.
my family,
Your family.
yeah, yeah.
What were your ancestors doing? Like, Best.
They probably got first choice.
It's the best
Like,
house.
oh, we know where we're gonna start at. What were Carver's thinking?
Too busy chopping down things.
I guess
Think
so.
about anything at all.
So yeah, ACRacebest was the initial name that I wanted for YouTube, and it wouldn't let me have it for some reason. I've never seen a channel with ACRacebest, and when you search it, nothing pops up. So I added the AC in front of it because initially when I started my YouTube channel, I thought I was going to be making videos specifically around Chippendale Rescue Rangers, and I was part of a forum called the Acorn Cafe that was for that show. And so I put ACRacebest, and now I'm in a pony fandom where everyone knows me as ACRacebest, and everyone's like, well, what's the AC stand for? Saber's still convinced it's Antichrist, but I've been trying to work off that old image for a while. You have your hand up.
Saber, why did you delete the first Ponies versus Critic video?
Why do you delete any video, Saber?
That's a good question.
Well, it's not deleted, it's unlisted, right?
It's unlisted.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
There was one thing about being a content creator is you will look back on your past work and be like, what was I thinking? Or you'll look back at it and say, wow, that was really bad. And like, in this sense, the only reason why I took it away was because the information I laid out, I no longer necessarily agreed with. Like, I look at some of my work as stepping stones, and I have no shame in them being there forever. Like, if I become an A-list actor, which will never happen, someday, I'm still gonna keep my YouTube channel there, and someone's gonna go, wow, that guy who was in Star Wars Episode 9 was a My Little Pony fan.
Were you going to be one of the aliens? Sorry.
Well, for the video in question, it's Pony versus haters or critics or something like that.
Yeah, I think you changed the name.
I did. In the video, I don't even remember my own content. I think I was a bit harsh on like anyone who would oppose MLP. I was thinking like they're idiots, you know, and which isn't true. Like, I guess what changed in me is I thought it's important to not write people off, if that makes any sense, because someone could offer constructive criticism, but you might mistake it, or you might be confused and think it's just hate. Like, that's because I had a situation that popped up and it made me kind of rethink the video. So, I don't know, I made another one to replace it. I made one called Ponies versus Critics Round 2.
Yeah.
And that was more of a revised, like, I guess, perspective on that topic. So the other one that was there, I mean, for crying out loud, like, that video had about, like, 25,000 comments. Comments.
It's a lot of toxicity.
That's a lot. And it was to the point where I was like, I don't think I really helped anyone here. Not Bernies, not people who are not Bernie. It's just, and then because of that, I decided to start over and try. And I'm a lot happier with the current video that's out. So I hope that answers your question.
You have your hand up?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. It's raised right now.
Next question. No. What's up?
How do you go about obtaining footage from the show for like Brony's Reactor for PMVs?
Legally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just completely
You
legally.
buy them off of iTunes. You see.
Like a Hasbridge in the corner.
How do you get it?
After going to our Sunday school class, we
I-
frequent the Blockbuster.
I've heard stories of a website called Yay Ponies that
JHaller, we don't talk about that.
I'm
website.
talking about what other people do. I don't,
Oh, he's
I
just
don't
heard
do
this
that.
off
Oh,
the
you
street.
mean your friend who goes to yayponies.com?
Yeah,
Write
my
that down,
friend.
write that down,
There's a
yayponies.com.
website. Actually, it's a website that has a lot of episodes and fan work that they just set up for.
We wouldn't know about
Even
that.
from past
But
generations.
I don't do that. But other people might. Maybe that's where they get their.
And I heard that some people, not us, some people will even go to Pirate Bay to download all kinds of content.
No.
It's wrong.
Well,
Wow.
you should support the episodes.
You know, the only reason why
Yeah.
you should ever go to Pirate Bay is to download Utopia, and that's it.
Gotcha.
I hate you. But you knew that.
But yeah, you should support this show and like get the DVDs though.
More so
Yeah.
Zootopia, but yeah.
Like going on to the piracy topic, and we won't get stuck on this, but like if you do like something, like truly like I like Game of Thrones, well, and yet I sometimes
Don't watch it live.
No, like if you really like something, like support it. And if you don't, then
Don't support
that's
it.
on your
That's why
shoulders.
Ray saw Zootopia 23 times.
Yeah, that's why you're so 23 times.
And bought 2 Blu-rays, so, I mean, yeah.
Why two?
Why only 2? Is that your question? No, it's actually,
After brainwashing.
the thing is, it's funny because with 2, I can answer why I got more than 1, is that the Disney store had one offer for pre-orders that they had these lithographs you can get, these like nice quality lithographs, and I'm like, I need that, so I pre-ordered it. But then I was sitting there and I'm like, yeah, but Target has bonus footage and the 3D version. Okay, I'll get that too. And I was able to talk Sarah into letting me get that because I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? What if I got 14 Blu-rays? And she's like, no. Fine. But then I have people sending me pictures that they're like getting like every version that's released. There's like a red case and a blue case, and I'm like, maybe I need to get more.
No.
But there's
No.
Yes. 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 Buy everything.
Is it time
Buy
for
everything.
an intervention?
I think so. Intervention convention.
Race,
We had like a
Race, we're worried about you.
Why?
We really are.
Why?
How many times did you see it in theaters?
23.
That's not normal.
No,
There are directors who don't even watch their movies that many times.
Yeah, like while they're making it. Maybe that's the problem with the directors.
Well, that explains The Hobbit.
No, yeah, I kept going back because I loved it. I mean, I never once got tired of seeing it. So that's it. Wasn't like some people.
JHaller drew that for
Oh,
you.
Jay, that's me. Thank you. Can you sign this later?
Yes.
Thank you. There's me, everybody.
And drew me too.
But yeah, I kept going back because it just was always interesting to me. I always got excited to go see it again. So it wasn't like a gimmick where I'm like, oh, I'll just keep seeing it as many times as I can. It was just fun, and I loved seeing it.
into Zootopia.
Yeah.
Without fail.
Without fail. Last night's didn't, which is probably a good thing.
During Mitch's thing?
During Mitch's thing.
That's surprising, actually.
Yeah.
No, we already brought it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, we
yeah,
did
yeah.
talk about it, because Mitch said he hasn't seen it yet, and I
Yeah, it always does.
By the way, if you see the remnants, he signed my arm, I think, 14 times.
Raised as someone with germaphobe, so that was like burning into his skin.
Well, look, my germaphobe and church, yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Question? Yes.
A couple things. One, I've seen Zootopia 9 times.
Why is Zootopia nice?
It's just amazing.
Because
But
it's amazing.
my question is, what is the biggest mistake you can make when you start out on YouTube?
Biggest mistake you make.
I feel like the biggest mentality mistake you can make is going into it with the immediate assumption that you're going to be big or you're going to hit success right away. You have to kind of go in it. I mean, for everyone it's different what the right reason is, but I've found that the people who stick with it the most and tend to get successful with it are the ones that got into it for the first place because they just wanted to have fun and it was an interest of theirs to make the video. If you're having fun, you enjoy the stuff that you're putting out there, I feel like the audience will eventually come if you stick with it. But yeah, go into it for yourself, not so much for the audience or everyone else necessarily, and just expect it to be a a long road.
What do y'all think?
I'd say probably one of the biggest mistakes you could make is like just forgetting to make content. Like if you really need to stay consistent. Like if you want to like keep an audience on your channel. So like try to schedule something out that you can do, like that you know if you can do like something every week, try to do that. Or if it's like something every 2 weeks or maybe twice a week, depending on like how your schedule is.
And the content that you're making.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay?
I mean, we covered most of the points, other than you gotta do it, that's sweet, sweet YouTube money, right?
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about money.
No,
You make
yeah,
literally
all
tens of dollars.
all like, yeah, I got like $23 maybe, like, that took 3 years to make that.
Well, Saber had a funny moment. You were just like, your
Yeah.
Warcraft video, you're like, hey, I've made 2
2
cents.
cents.
Yeah.
No,
That's
obviously I'm joking. I mean, you guys covered the points pretty well. This is kind of a say, do as I say, do as I do, because you said keep consistent content, and I felt like doing that a lot. But yeah, just you gotta keep it up consistently to keep people's interest. People like having scheduled a little bit. It's like having TV shows. They're on every week at the same time. You know what to expect.
I think also a big mistake is to be discouraged, like, quickly.
Mhm.
Like, it's not, I mean, for some folks, okay, 7 billion people on this planet, and all of us have all kinds of personalities. And when you're dealing with people, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's going to be all kinds of, you can do this, you can do that. It worked for this guy, it worked for that guy, and this is how I did it. Well, that's how he did it, or she did it, whatever. There's 1,000 different ways to skin a cat, which I don't know where that saying came from.
Right.
But whatever. To peel an orange. All right, so, which is actually kind of untrue, because I think there's only one way to peel an orange.
One way.
But aside the point, like, there's a guy called Grade A Under A.
Yeah.
Y'all know who he is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sharing this story about him because he's kind of an interesting Cinderella story. He's one of the more popular YouTubers right now. He's got, I think, about 3 million subscribers or something.
I think he just hit 4 million.
4? God, please. I wouldn't doubt it. The guy, he uses Microsoft Paint for his visuals, and he records on his, like, kind of junky phone.
Samsung Galaxy 2.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, he's not using $100, like...
He's got 2.2 right now.
But still, the guy...
Yeah, but still, he's got like, it's still a lot.
I found him,
He does.
when I stumbled across his channel, it was like March 2015, 30,000 something subscribers. He's got 2 million now, or something, and he's on the rise. And that goes to show that what he did worked for him. He was consistent, and at first, when you see his first videos, you're like, it's not right, but he eventually has a breakthrough. I think every single YouTuber will eventually have that moment where they find something like, this works. Now you replicate it. And you hope, and all the stuff you replicate and find success, then you diversify. That way you don't get put in a corner. Because one thing I find super interesting are YouTubers who used to be really big and now they're just kind of a corpse. Like, or maybe that's not sure what I'm saying.
Or
Yeah.
channels, that is.
Channels.
Or anybody remember Fred?
Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his channel now,
Fortunately.
the videos on it barely like make over 10,000 views.
And this guy was like heralded to be like, he was one of the first big YouTubers ever. Like, hey, it's Fred! With high pitched voice. And it was, I mean, when I found him back in like 2007 or whatever, I thought this is really funny stuff. He had like,
You thought that was funny?
I really did. I thought it was hilarious.
It's okay.
Thank you,
it was funny.
ACRacebest.
It was funny.
But now, and then he went to Nickelodeon, and then after that, it just kind of like.
If we've learned anything, is like YouTube doesn't translate well to television.
No, it does not. Don't.
Or movies.
Yeah.
Everybody's jealous of YouTubers actually because oftentimes they get more views. The YouTubers get more views than the TV shows. They get more viewers in general. It's like the medium is.
It's gonna keep changing. This next decade, it's gonna be super fast.
I want to add one more thing to basically what you were kind of saying as far as equipment goes, as I think that could be a big mistake, is sometimes people jump into it thinking if I have lots of expensive equipment,
that's gonna automatically good.
Yeah, no, it's more about the idea than it is about the equipment. Don't spend a lot of money when you're getting started. All you need is probably a $300 camcorder, and maybe if you want to get a nice mic for recording. It's like, other than that, that should set you on the right track, and then getting like a video editor.
And our friend Jim, he does movie reviews, and he just uses a webcam. and just like good audio with his mic. So.
And to kind of add on that, YouTube is extremely unpredictable. You can spend hours and hours and hours on something, and it'll only get so many. It won't take off. It's like, okay, it didn't. Then you can spend 5 minutes on something and it blows up. And it's like,
I completely agree.
You know, it's unpredictable. So like you guys were saying, usually you want to start small with your equipment, and I mean, good equipment's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good to have if you want to, if that's the aesthetic you're going for. But you should, buying a new camera, like you said, it's going to give you a personality that people are going to like or anything like that. So, yeah.
Like, you can give me the best paintbrush in the world and then tell me to paint a masterpiece, and I go, I don't know how. I don't know. I need to practice with the idea. You had your hand up. I want to go to you.
Actually, I have a question for Saber and Race.
Yes.
Okay. One for each of you. For Saber, have you ever thought about going back and doing like reviews of your old videos?
Like the 300 video.
Why did I?
I was playing with the idea of doing a retrospect video, I guess.
Were we gonna do like a commentary over Bella Durrani?
Yeah, it never happens.
Yeah.
A lot of ideas never happen.
Yeah.
A lot of my old videos, I almost feel like it's kind of like closing a book where it's like, nah, I did that. I finished that chapter, and now I'm on a new, I'm in a new book now. I'm in a new chapter. I'm trying something that's fresh, and I think, when it comes to making content, like, don't limit yourself. You never know what the future holds. But for right now, I think I'm going to leave that be. I'm going to keep trying to do other reviews and other analysis videos on topics that catch my fascination. And then maybe, I don't know, down there I go, oh, here are my old videos, and this is what I thought about this, and this is how it changed. So I got to see what my audience is in tune with, right, at the moment, if that makes any sense.
Okay. And for Race.
Yeah.
Do you have any worries about doing demolition derby effectively above a giant source of methane?
As in like the dangers involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually, for those that do watch, this coming season opens up with a bang, and in a bigger way than I ever intended, because I actually had something happen in a demolition derby in that first night of destruction that we have coming up. That'll be on the series, where I had a malfunction in my car. Now, malfunctions in demolition derby cars sometimes range from, oh, my radiator blew up, oh, my engine stopped running, oh, I broke an axle. This one, my seat broke. And in a demolition derby, your seat is the one thing that's like, has you strapped in. And what happened was my T-bone bar was installed too low, and I hit a car at pretty high speed up against the K-rail. And when I did that, I broke both of his front axles. So of course I was proud, but I was like, man, that hurt. I was thinking it was because I hit him up against the K-rail and, basically hitting the wall. What happened was when I hit him, because of how torque works, everything above that bar bent around the bar. And essentially all that cushion and protection was gone. And my back was essentially up against the T-bone bar. And I took 2 solid hits after that. The first one was like after that hit, where I went, oh, something's wrong. Like something broke here. Like there's something wrong with my seat. And I kind of pulled to the side, like not off the course like I should have, but I pulled to the side and I'm like kind of assessing like what's going on. And I had my car sitting in reverse, and I heard a car coming. And this was a guy that we do demolition derbies with. His name's Johnny. And this guy will take full court shots on you, which it's legit. It's not like a dirty move. And he had no idea that I had my issue. And I heard him, and at the last second I saw him coming. And I was like, this is going to hurt. And it did. And this demolition derby happened in January. And I have my hand right now on the spot. I could still feel that hit. Like I went to the doctor that week because I had to check out to see if I did something to my back, because it was in pain. So there is a danger involved, and it's always something that we take as many steps as we can to preventing something bad from happening. Like ever since this happened, we now have like a set height for T-bone bars. Like they have to be above the spot, because I was the guinea pig who found out, oh, you can't do them too low. I've never had something that extreme ever happen, and we have a really, really good safety crew at the track. So like, I had a car for the first time catch on fire, like full on fire, in the last event I just did. So we've had a lot of great moments so far this year. But, and yeah, like not once was I concerned. I knew the fire was there. I knew my exits on the car. I knew, all I have to do is unstrap, watching my surroundings, making sure that all the rest of the cars are stopped. It's a big thing about not panicking in those events. And just knowing ahead of time, this is how I'm gonna get out of the car in case this happens, and just having trust in the people around you. So. Yeah, I've had it come up, like demolition derbies. It was hard for me to get back into a demolition derby after that incident, but I did, and it actually went really well, as you guys will see in the follow-up. But yeah, it took. What's that?
It's good to know I'm not going to lose you because of safety conditions.
No, yeah, and that's the thing is there's always that risk. It's a risk that is always going to be involved, and it's not something like I'm never going to go into it saying, I'll be safe, or not that I'll be safe, but that I won't get hurt. I know that doing what I'm doing, it's dangerous, and trailer racing is probably the most dangerous thing we do because we're driving through trailers, these campers that have metal and all this crap inside of them, and there's no telling where that stuff's gonna go at times. It's just about gauging it right and trying to play it safe from behind the wheel and being smart. So, yeah, good question though. Let's go to you.
Okay, I have two questions. One for Saber and one for Race.
Okay.
Did you dye your hair, Saber?
I did back in like September. I dyed this part blue because apparently that's what every YouTuber is supposed to do at this point. And then I decided, oh, maybe I should not do that so I can go interview for white collar jobs. So I dyed it back to brown, or my little sister did, who was a hairstylist. And I think she rushed through it because somehow this blonde tip showed up. So I'm kind of back in middle school with my smash mouth face.
And for Race,
Yeah.
you are nearing 100,000 subscribers. Are you going to do something special for that?
Good question. Yeah, I'm at like 97.5, and I feel like I've been at 97.5 for the last year. So, yeah, it's closing in right now, and right now my channel is actually kind of in a phase change right now. Obviously, I've always been doing stuff with cartoons, and that's going to continue. But what I've always wanted to do is break out into doing more stuff with Disney, and I've never had that segue, like, oh, this is the thing that I'm going to start doing, until a certain movie that came out, in March. And I feel like this is the beginning of the transition where I'm going to tie in some more Disney stuff. Now that being said, the 100K question, I have an idea of something I want to do. The thing is I haven't said, oh, this is for sure what I'm going to do because it's going to take time and I don't know if I actually have the capabilities of putting it together. But a long time ago, I made a movie in high school. And I kind of want to take that and put it back out there because it's really, I guess you'll just let me know how it is. But it was just a funny experience. I wrote the whole thing. I was proud that I was able to put the whole thing together. I'm sure the timing's terrible. I'm sure it gets really boring and really dumb. But I haven't seen it for a long time either. So what I want to do is actually kind of do a React style thing to it where I'm watching it and going, what the hell was I thinking here? What was this? Okay. But yeah, so that's an idea I have. I obviously, worst case, if I'm not able to put that together, because I don't even know if I can find the source for that stuff, I at least am going to put something out as a big thank you, because 100K is something I never imagined. I remember when I hit 10K, and I was like, no way. I never thought I'd see the day. I remember when I hit 1,000, same deal. I was like, this is insane. When I made the first Bronies React, I had 167 subscribers. And that video in 3 days hit 100,000 views. And with that started coming the audience, and then taking the reacts and making them into a series, kind of like what you were just talking about, how you take what there's an audience there for it. If you enjoy doing it, keep doing it. And yeah, I mean, I'm just amazed that I'm even talking about the potential of hitting 100,000. It's crazy. So, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know that you can have your account on YouTube monetized. I was kind of wondering if the pros and cons of that.
I don't. Can you guys think of any cons?
It's like you get money.
Because I don't think it restricts you.
come to reality with the crushing truth that you make like 2 cents per video. The big YouTubers, I mean, like Markiplier, they're making
Yeah,
content.
like anybody who has like over 1 million subscribers.
They make
it's
bank.
Like, yeah.
There's a really interesting gap between like us versus them. I mean,
There's a them now.
thank you, Palo. Thank you. Palo. You all have a good convention. Go back to Georgia. No, as far as, and I guess it depends also on your content. Like, we don't make content that comes out every single day like Mark does or PewDiePie.
It's not our full-time job.
No, it's not. And even then, if I made this my full-time job, it's still, there's a lot of like unknowns. Like I could make a video that no one watches after I put a week of labor into it, and there goes my rent, or there goes my food for the month. Versus Let's Players who have a higher turnover rate with their content, not turnover, whatever, I guess output.
Retention?
There you go. So, yeah, like, you think, oh man, this guy's, 100,000 almost, 200,000, 17 subscribers.
Part of it.
It's 18 now, I just subscribed.
He can drive. There's a huge gap. Like, you eventually, I think Mando Pony's a good example. Like, he can do it on his own. He's got 500,000, and he makes enough music, and there's enough topics.
And plus he's selling that music.
Yeah, he sells the music, which is nice.
Like musicians, it's different because like if you get like a video about an album or you're putting up your songs, it's like, hey, my album's out. They're selling their album, which would compared to like YouTube revenue, that'd be a lot.
Yeah, like Black Griffin.
Yeah.
Even though I have more subs than he does, like man, he knows how to market his stuff. Like he makes money with his albums. So don't buy his albums anymore. Go to my Patreon account. There's a good, successful YouTuber will realize, okay, I made this far with my videos, now it's time to think outside the box and monetize my content through merchandise, through albums, through whatever.
Fun fact, we actually sell shirts now. You can check them out.
Oh yeah, who's line shirts?
Yeah, we sold one. It's good stuff to start. Such number one.
It's kind of a thing, it's an uphill battle, especially in this fandom, because it's a very niche thing.
It's a glass ceiling too.
Yeah, I mean, you think like video gamers are much more, it's much more wider appeal.
Yeah.
And those guys are making a video every day. Each one of those videos is getting 1 million views. I'm talking about like the top people, like PewDiePie and all them. But yeah, even the people who aren't making 1 million views, as long as you got making content every day, or like Game Grumps puts out like 3 videos a day.
Yeah.
Like an intro. That's, hey, they're lucky enough to have the audience and the fans. So as we're saying, you have to think outside the box, merchandise, and all of that. And, but it's all an uphill battle if you're thinking about monetization and making a career out of this.
You're an entrepreneur at some point, and you got to know how to sell it. Like I can't really think of a big YouTuber who's broken 1 million who's just like, I just make videos and that's it. Like every big YouTuber looks like more often than not they have a way to make extra money with it.
Yeah.
And so I guess to say the pros of monetization, you make money.
It opens the door for you to go out and get it.
The cons, like I said, I don't think it restricts you any more than having a non-monetized channel.
You have to pay taxes eventually.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
That's life.
I was asking
There's the one come right there. You do have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Super government.
I've
Yes.
been asking because of all the issues not that long ago with like the fair use and people doing
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
That in that regard. Okay, so copyright law is pretty dated. They never really took into account the rise of the independent creator online. Because when they were forming those laws, the internet was still young at the time. I don't think anyone realized it would blow up as big as it has, especially for people who are artists, musicians, creators. So the Digital Millennia Copyright Act, because copyright's not evil. I mean, we think it's synonymous with either, copyright. No, it's there to protect content. Because, during the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of rip-off VHS tapes of everything. And it was a way to protect, like Paramount or Warner Brothers or Disney from getting their the content they worked hard on to protect it from people who would steal it. Because in China, it's like off the charts, just bootlegs everywhere. Now it's kind of backfired, where now the sites are aimed at the independent creators, the ones who really are quite harmless in the grand scheme. But since the law is so just you know, a stamp. That's it. It doesn't really have any room for like discerning, like, oh, this is different from that. So, but I guess the good news is that the fair use stuff is changing. Because fair use, it lets a content creator have a bit more like elbow room with their content.
It's in the spotlight right now, so it's something that's probably gonna, like you said, change.
It's gonna keep changing.
It's a little bit of an irony that a lot of people who get hit with those copyright claims are doing it and they're actually promoting the material. They're actually like, they're saying, hey, people that may not have known about this before, and but you can't have that because it's our content, so we want to make money off of that. So we're going to take that down, and it's like...
Or they'll take the money you make.
Right, or that. And actually, Hasbro's been pretty lenient.
Lately?
For the most part.
Oh, maybe just, yeah.
Hasbro usually doesn't take stuff down, they usually just monetize it for themselves.
Yeah.
So.
Well, be careful.
Yeah.
It might have changed recently.
Yeah, because something happened with race.
There's a reason I haven't released the React yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a message that said, this has been blocked worldwide, and I said, that's not good.
That's
So-
how we deal with apologies.
Yeah, but luckily, hey, the good news is that they give you a warning before they give you a
It's so
strike.
funny.
Whereas they just give you a
Do it again, I
Wait,
swear to God.
Well, this is new to me actually, so they do not give you a strike. They just give you a warning.
Yeah, well, what happened was so I was putting up 2 things, and the first thing got hit, and I noticed the worldwide block, and I'm like, I haven't seen that in a long time. So then I checked the channel deal, and it had a message there that said, warning, if you have one more video get blocked worldwide, which the next one would have been, that was at like 85% uploaded, that I would get a strike.
Okay.
And I went, stop, and I knew it wouldn't, like, that's when my internet was gonna freak out and be like, instant upload. So I don't know if anything's changed with Hasbro's hits, or it was just what I was putting up. It wasn't the reacts, it was a straight up episode. Don't do that. Like I said, the reason I was doing that was because
Video
it was
conversion?
an easy way to convert the videos. I was just downloading them off YouTube, so I'd put them up and then take them down.
You used Handbrake.
Hey, well, for the record, thank you, Jay. But for the record, it had worked plenty of times in the past, and then it got me here. So I don't know if the policy's changed. That's why I'm being careful with the React.
You have a question?
This is just like kind of tying in with the fair use stuff, and I'm just like wondering, like, are some like what videos are monetized? Because I know, like, I think with that one of the, like, I think you use Star Fox music in that. Can you monetize that, or?
It's interesting what they consider, what a company will go after. Like, some companies are more relaxed than others. Like, Viacom is notorious when it comes to just, if you even like whisper the name SpongeBob, they're coming for you. Versus, like, let's say, you know, Hasbro's been chilled out in a lot of ways with like PMVs and stuff and using their like content. It varies. It varies on like, because sometimes you might get lucky. Like, I made a Star Wars video back in like, I think November, December, and I tried using John Williams music. No, that wasn't gonna fly. So what did I do? I decided.
Video game music?
Yeah, I used like 8-bit version of Star Wars, and that was fine. So there'll be times where you have to like, and if you have a deadline, like make sure you give yourself some time to upload your video and see how YouTube reacts to it, because they might block it completely. They trademark. Because it might be fine. And be like, cool. But then again, 2 weeks from now, you might get hit with a copyright claim.
Yeah, when I make the reacts, for example, since it's so many different pieces put together, and Jay, I don't know, like, with the anthologies and whatnot, if you guys have had to deal with a lot of this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where like what I'll do is if there's a section that I'm not sure about, I'll just upload that section and leave it private, and then let it sit for a few days, and that'll typically it's within a day or two where you'll see what gets hit. For example, when I put out the promo for the low budgets coming, I used Interstellar music. And the reason I did that was because I used it also last year, a different song, but I knew that I can't monetize it. Like it tells me, oh, we know you used our music, and so I can't monetize it. But I also know that it doesn't get blocked anywhere. It's still viewable for everybody, and that's okay for me. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I know how Interstellar music works, so it's like, okay, I can use that in this spot and know that all it's gonna say is, this is Interstellar music, if you wanna buy the soundtrack here, go do it. So, yeah.
You know, it's interesting that you use the Interstellar music because my review of Interstellar when it came out got blocked like a year later. Or not blocked, but it got
Copyright.
D-
Third ID.
Yeah, it got a copyright ID on it, so like Warner Brothers makes the video money on that video now. But the thing is, like, nobody watches that video anymore anyway.
I got a bunch of videos of like top 10s that are unlisted for like the top 10 punk music, and I'll get emails saying Hasbro's not playing this video. I'm like, enjoy your not getting money because I'm unlisted. Whatever. It's just a YouTube automated system. That's how they find
It's
it.
walking on eggshells. It's really, you just gotta kind of hope and pray that what you're using is not gonna, trigger the alarms of some company.
It's like Russian roulette.
That's why it's important to make sure your content is like transformative.
Put air horns in everything.
Yeah, like I really only use screenshots in my videos now, so that way I can get around like copyright ID.
Though there are some companies that are even that insane. Where
Yeah, that's what happened with the Interstellar review.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. All right, next question.
I know that you guys had something.
Just for everybody in the room, really, iMovie music, the music that comes with iMovie, never gets tagged, ever. So just the FYI.
There are a bunch of like songs. Yeah, royalty-free music, guys, is your best friend.
Well, we're part of a network called.
People on YouTube that just make a whole bunch of styles of music and go, I don't care if you use it.
Yeah.
Just credit me. Yeah. Just credit.
Like my outro music is actually from an artist in the fandom, General Mumble.
Yeah. And I use an intro music and outro music that was made by our friend Masashi, who's a musician, so that's cool.
And in my case, I use a network that they actually provide to whoever's on the network, I guess, a big library of
What
music.
network are you part of? What network are you part of?
Studio 71 is what they're called now. Yeah. It used to be called The Collective, now they changed it. But no, but like The Collective. Yeah. But they, if you're lucky enough to be in a network, there are perks like that. They give you some stuff like that.
Yeah, me and Saber are part of Channel Frederator, so we have like Audio Micro, which has a ton of music to use.
Yeah.
And I'm a free agent.
All right, I see a hand over there.
Somebody left the camera on the seat.
Oops.
Yeah, and it's like a really good camera.
We should tell the TSA.
The stuff, the concept.
One of the stuff,
Yeah.
and then they
They'll
go
tweet
Yeah.
that.
Thanks for pointing that out, though.
Yeah.
Make sure that the person claims it.
Every
Don't show them the camera. Be like, describe it.
Every panel I've been to today
Well,
is
I don't-
lost.
I don't know how easy this is going to be to answer, but you guys all seem like real, like what we're seeing is just who you are in your regular life. And I'm wondering how important that is as far as making videos.
Being ourselves.
Yeah, instead of like creating this.
I feel like it kind of splits down the middle with a lot of YouTubers, where there's some people who have a specific character that they play. And then there's people like us who they're like, wow, you're just as dumb as you are in your videos.
Are you familiar with okay, for I think in early internet and early YouTube, we saw a lot of that of people playing characters like
James.
the ancient video game nerd, the nostalgia critic, people like that who have a character and they it's a way for them to brand themselves with their outfit, their attitude, and what they say and what they do. I think this current wave of YouTubers, you don't see as much of that anymore. Like Markiplier is Markiplier, JonTron is JonTron. I'm sure they're not always constantly like that. You know, they're still acting for their videos, but it's not like JonTron's not the same person as John Jafari. Is that his last name?
Yeah.
Something like that. Jafar. I'm just not a But I mean, none of us. We don't do. Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, it still is out there. I'm a fan of Filthy Frank.
Yeah.
That's definitely the character.
Yeah.
That's so it's out there, but like you're saying.
Or Ethan from H3H3.
Yeah.
Do you think there's one way of doing it that's safer? I mean, do you?
Whatever works for a person.
Yeah.
Whatever works. I mean, the nice thing is, like from our point of view, since like you say, a lot of what you see on camera on YouTube is what you see here. I think that's easier for people to connect with us in person, because then they're like, we've had people who've said, I feel like I've known you for years. And that's cool, you know, because then it's like
my stalker tells me the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Don't touch me. Yeah, switch seats with him, please. No, I know that for some conventions, like where the nostalgia critic goes to, like he'll be his character on stage, but then he switches clothes and he wants to be
Yeah, he's
himself.
Doug Walker.
Now he's Doug Walker.
Yeah.
And,
So maybe make a distinction, if you're going to have a character,
yes.
make it clear.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. All right, so James Rolfe, who's the angry video game nerd, made a video not too long ago expressing his opinion and his decision to not review Ghostbusters 2016. He made that video as James Rolfe, not as the angry video game nerd, but as himself. Because if it was the angry video game nerd, we expect a lot more screaming, shouting, and I guess kind of criticism. Yeah, exactly. But James was more like, I just don't want to review it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. It's James saying that, not his character.
Okay.
Though he is his character, or he plays a character, but his character doesn't mean that's him to a T.
Okay.
That makes sense. All right, we got about
7 minutes.
Yeah, we can do a few more questions.
Yeah.
Just on the subject of copyright, whenever you go to something new, do you guys go through their copyright thing saying, yeah, you can use this if you credit us, or don't do this because we'll...
There's a lot of things that just don't lay that out. Like music, one thing I do for music is I'll look up on my phone to see if it's blocked anywhere. Like I'll look up a song. If I can find it on YouTube, typically that's a good sign.
You don't want it blocked in your phone. The phone is becoming more, with mobile devices, becoming more and more of the item where you're going to be getting your views.
But a lot of stuff, it's just hit or miss. That's why most of this, like I was referencing, when we're trying to check something out, we'll put it out early to see how it gets hit.
I made a Warcraft video a few days ago, which you can watch on my channel, Saberspark.com. But the video uses a lot of soundtrack music from World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3. I only used a little bit of footage from the trailer of the Warcraft movie, and I used a lot of cinematics from Blizzard and their games. None of it was even touched. Not even like, this is copyright, we're not blocking it, but none of it. And I mean, a part of it makes me wonder if it's the network that we're part of protecting us.
Yeah, because I know,
what was it, Stev?
yes, Stev.
Yeah.
Like once he left the network, a lot of his content was like instantly flagged.
If you work with a network, they, you get more muscle, they'll talk. If you're under their, I guess, umbrella, it's like, oh, that's a Frederator person, don't worry. Unless like that person's like uploading episodes of Game of Thrones or something like that.
Yeah.
It's different.
Or MLP.
Or MLP.
Yeah.
So I guess,
Well, I have a trailer example. A couple years ago, I was like in that mode of like, what can I ponify that's like different or weird? And for some reason, I came across the trailer for Twister back in the day.
Yeah.
And I made this video called Twister Pie, and all I did was I took the audio from the Twister trailer, and I completely put it over, with clips of MLP, and that ended up actually getting taken down from YouTube. Like, it wasn't a strike. They just were like, this doesn't exist anymore. This is... And I was surprised because it took them like 4 years to find that video, but at the same time it also threw me off because I'm like, oh, okay, so audio from trailers, I guess that makes sense, but it's something you don't...
That's the first thing to be detected.
It does depend.
Well,
too,
yeah, it only took them 4 years.
I think with newer trailers, I think with newer trailers, they kind of want you to like react to them because
More advertising.
me, Saber, and Jim did a reaction to the Star Wars trailer from last year, and like it was fine. It wasn't hit at all.
Yeah. Companies that know how to embrace the advantage of viral marketing via reactions on YouTube.
I was really proud of that video though. It was called Twister Pie, and basically Pinkie Pie was the twister.
Oh,
It was
Kind of twister pie.
the natural force. So.
I love it.
All right, yes, sir.
Is it okay if I ask a question not really about YouTube?
Yeah.
This is mainly for race. If you guys have opinions, you can chime in. What do you love the most about Zootopia? Because for me,
I'm glad you asked.
It's like the social commentary and the fact that they bring up these issues in a kids' film, but also the fact that technology-wise, it's amazing what they did with like the hair and the fur and the physics of the clothes and stuff. So I just wanted your opinion.
A lot of people have asked me, what is the thing that you love about Zootopia? And I've yet to actually have a really good, solid, straight-up answer besides pretty much everything. I mean, I've seen it 23 times, so I guess that would... Put Hearthstone away.
What deck are you using?
Oh, God. No, the...
Gary, you're gonna start a howl.
From the characters to the world to... That's funny. You are going to start a howl. To the story. I mean, I became so immersed in this world that Disney created. And I also love there's a lot of interactivity between the people. It kind of reminds me actually of the MLP staff, where like the directors are on Twitter talking with people all the time, and the co-directors and the animators and people who worked with the story. They're interacting with people. Like I haven't really paid attention to, I guess, but I haven't seen before either. Like I've never realized how interactive those people can be. Yeah, no, I just, like Zootopia, I don't know, it did something to me that no movie's done to me. It's just, I love it.
I agree.
What?
I completely agree.
Nice. Yes.
Oh, you're done.
Yeah, I just said everything.
Oh. Questions?
Anyone else? We have 2 minutes. Yeah.
I don't really ask this just to be, I don't really ask this like as insulting, but it's just curiosity.
Okay.
Are you a furry?
All right. So this is funny because I don't know. I'll be honest. I looked up the definition of a furry because so many people were asking me, and I said
Definition Webster's. You know what Webster's?
it wasn't there. It
Urban
wasn't
Dictionary?
There. I was looking up everywhere, to which I finally found out that there's actually, like the first thing they tell you is, yeah, there's actually no concrete definition of a furry.
No, well, science.
So I went, well, great. So, no. Do I consider myself a furry? No. But do other people consider me a furry? Yes. So I don't know where that line's drawn. Like for me, I've always considered like someone who would consider themselves a furry would be someone who would like go to furry conventions. I'll be honest, actually.
I've seen Zootopia 23 times.
Like I said, if that's part of the definition, then yes. Like if someone said this is the definition.
It actually
of a furry,
says that in the dictionary. Like if you've seen Zootopia 23 times, you are a furry.
Man, too bad I didn't see it. Yeah. So no, I mean, and the thing is, like, I don't have an issue with like the furry fandom or anything. Like I don't really know much about it. Maybe that's why there's not a definition. I don't know. But
Furries have a lot. Like their reputation goes a lot further back than bronies, and
they've been around longer.
Yeah, a lot longer.
Don't you have to actually own a costume?
That's what I thought. I used to think that a
I don't
fursuit
get it.
had something to do with it, but I know for a fact
You have to
that
have
there's
a pair of
people.
pony ears to be a brony.
Oh, so I'm not one then. I got a tail.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but so yeah, it's always been like an interesting thing. I've been considering, but I don't know if I'm going to end up doing it, making a video about what makes someone a furry, just because
I'm sure that'd be not controversial at all.
But why don't you go make an MLP versus Critics 3, okay?
There's how you can break your 100,000.
He wants it. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't consider myself like I don't define myself as a furry, but I love certain movies with anthropomorphic characters. But then there's ones that I'm not so into either.
What makes a brony then?
Well, what makes a brony?
Yeah.
I consider it to be someone who's a fan of MLP.
Are you a fan?
So you're a fan of Zootopia, meaning you're a furry.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't that make me like a Zootopian, technically?
No, stop denying
Are there any furries in the audience?
Are there any furries in the audience? Can you guys tell me, am I a furry?
Let's weigh in on this.
I think I kind of consider like the same thing with the brony. Like if you want to use, if you like, the anthropomorphic animals and stuff like that, and you want to use the term furry, then you're a furry. But it's the same thing
It's
with
like
brony, too.
it's like a
somebody
self-label.
Yeah, but like, I consider the same thing with brony. Like if somebody likes MLP and goes to the conventions but doesn't want to call themselves a brony, then they're not a brony.
Here's the thing, is like when I say that I consider a fan of MLP to be a brony, it doesn't mean that if they say, well, I'm not a brony, I'll just be like, okay, but in my eyes, that is my definition of what a furry is. That's why I'm asking, like, if there's somebody who is like, well, even though you don't consider yourself a furry, where you are or your interests, to me, you're a furry. I'd be like, okay. It's like, just because I have a definition of what a brony is doesn't mean that person then has to walk around and be like, okay, it's on my identification card. It's on my license. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do real quickly, we gotta wrap this up.
It was with the whole furry thing. Most people who are furries, they only consider an individual a furry if they have what they call a persona or their own anthropomorph.
See,
Come on,
technically, I've had one from
That
the
trailer
rescue
was
ranger
on.
community, so I don't know. But and then we have ones for ponies, so I guess we're all furries up here, aren't we?
Have you seen my Twitter profile? It's a disembodied head.
So
Clearly
you're
not brown.
I've seen the fan art. Saberspark.
You're both the brown and a furry.
I'm everything, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
A great furry debate.